All right, and we are live. How's it going, everybody? And happy May 19th. Now, if you're a longtime wrestling fan, you probably know what that May 19th reference is. But if you don't, go back to 2016 WWE and type in Kane May 19th. You'll see what I mean. So, this video, as the title states, NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 2016 Fantasy Card Predictions. I, of course, am Robbie Kenobi, joined again by my good friend Daniel Giza. Daniel, how you doing today?
I'm tired. It's been a long day, but I'm ready. I'm ready to do this NXT TakeOver Brooklyn Fantasy Card Predictions video. Always look forward to these.
Yes, always a pleasure to have you on, man. I think this is
Thank
our
you.
fifth collaboration, I believe, fifth or
I
sixth.
think so.
Yeah. The Bragging Rights trilogy.
Yep.
Then the WrestleMania cards, then the SummerSlam prediction. So yeah, this is our sixth collaboration. So this is
Very
awesome.
nice.
Yes.
Very nice.
Bada boom, realest YouTubers in the room.
How you doing?
Yes. All right, so like we said, guys, this is our NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 2016 Fantasy Card Predictions. You know the drill. We're basically just going to give you our predictions for this year's NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. We'll just talk real quick about if we, based on the cards we have, do we think it will top last year's show? Because, of course, last year's show was just an incredible event. The crowd, the atmosphere was just perfect. To me, this was the breakout event for NXT, the defining event that really put NXT on the map and solidified it as one of the premier wrestling organizations. Daniel, you were there live, actually, so
it's hard to believe. I mean, to me, that was one of the best WWE events I've ever been to, if not the best. And I've been to a WrestleMania. I've been to Royal Rumble. And to me, that atmosphere was electric. What was it, 15,000 of us? It was surreal to see that for NXT.
Yeah, I can only imagine. That weekend, that SummerSlam weekend was a really exciting weekend for me as a wrestling fan. One, because it happened to fall on my birthday. Birthday weekend.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I was just excited for the shows. And then two, NXT TakeOver Brooklyn just felt like this. It felt like a WrestleMania kind of event, and they chose the perfect venue, the Barclays Center, with one of the hottest, if not the hottest, NXT crowd I've ever seen. Last year's show is one in a million. It stands alone, in my opinion, as one of the best wrestling shows of all time. And you can argue between this one and Dallas, which one you think is the best NXT Brooklyn special, which is the best NXT TakeOver special. But Brooklyn is just it just had that magic that made it such.
It had a buzz.
Yes, it did. It did. So we came up with this concept when I was thinking about shortly after we did SummerSlam predictions, because that's going to be in Brooklyn, and they're going to do NXT TakeOver Brooklyn this year, so it'll be a second installment, and it's going to be a hot show. So basically, Daniel and I are just going to go through our cards, predict what we think is going to be on the show, and give our thoughts on those matches. So, Daniel, would you like to start off first?
Sure. Why not? Yeah. So overall, I have 6 matches on my card, and I'm going to start off with this match. This is a fatal 4-way to determine the number 1 contender for the NXT Women's Championship. I feel like this would be a good way to get a lot of the women on the card that are deserving in NXT, and these are the 4 women that I picked in this match. I have Carmella versus Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss versus Peyton Royce.
Peyton Royce, interesting choice.
I was I added her because of I watched her on this past week's episode of NXT. She fought Carmella. I think she can be a big player down the line. I definitely see potential in her.
Yeah.
So I feel like you put all 4 of these women in a number 1 contenders match. It would obviously set up a future challenger for Asuka down the line, and plus it would give these 4 women a shot to shine on the pay-per-view. They're all deserving. Nia Jax, Alexa Bliss, Carmella, and like I said, Peyton Royce, an up-and-comer. You put them all 4 in the ring together, I think this could be a very solid women's wrestling match.
That would be interesting to see, because it does work on establishing Asuka's next contender. You have Nia Jax, the powerhouse, Carmella, the underdog, and Peyton Royce, the the young aspiring star. So, and Alexa Bliss, right?
I really like her. She is
Yeah.
hot and she can go in the ring.
Yeah, Alexa Bliss,
gorgeous.
I feel like is underrated.
Yeah,
she hasn't really had a chance to shine, except recently as a heel. Yeah, I feel like that could be a solid fatal four-way. And once again, you give the women a chance to shine on a stage like NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. So that's a very interesting. Like I said, when you said Peyton Royce, I thought that was a very interesting choice. And yeah, I know I just rhymed, but I thought it was interesting you chose Peyton Royce.
Well, I originally had Eva Marie, but after watching this past week's episode of NXT, I bumped her for Peyton. I was like, I'd rather have her in there.
Yeah. All right. Well, since we only have 6 matches each, Daniel, if you want to run through the rest of your card.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So
next, I have Eric Young taking on Elias Sampson. I figured, well, Sampson, I feel like he has potential, but I don't know. I feel like he's missing something. I don't know if it's character or like I've seen him go in the ring, and I know he can go well. I think he just needs some direction, maybe a good feud, because he hasn't really had any good feuds in NXT. And I feel like maybe you match him up against a guy like Eric Young, and that might be a good, I can't think of the word. A good counter maybe to his character, and maybe they could go out there and have a good, a good match. And yeah, that I was trying to think of something to come up with for Eric Young, and I know they're still trying to push Elias Sampson, so I don't know how you feel about that.
That would be interesting. I've never been like the biggest Eric Young fan. I know what he's done in TNA, but I've never really been a fan of the guy. But if you put him up against Elias Sampson, that would be an interesting match, because when you look at them, like appearance-wise, they don't look like your traditional professional wrestlers. One's a drifter, the other is I don't know what to say about Eric Young, how to describe him. Yeah, I would say they're counterparts in a way.
Mm-hmm. You could say that. Yeah,
they would be like, I guess, your unusual challengers or talents in NXT. But that's a very interesting match, especially considering that you put Sampson in there, because I agree with you. I like his character, but I feel like he's missing something, and that's why you can't connect with the NXT audience. The Drifter's a unique character, because I don't ever recall anybody coming out except Double J, Jeff Jarrett, with a guitar, but him. But Sampson, this Drifter, he's I don't want to say he's scary, but he's kind of eerie because you don't know what this guy's thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I like the character. He's missing something, and I would like to see him do well as a mid-card star. So other than that, that's another interesting choice. Eric Young against Elias Sampson. I like how you're doing something different, something like not expected, but if given the right time, these guys can have a good solid match.
Yeah, you never know. Like you said, they could go out there and who knows, have a pretty good match. I don't know. I think they could. I don't know. To me, just thinking it over in my mind, I was thinking, you match these two guys up. You know what? I think they might be able to go out there and have a good match. So we'll see. I mean, maybe they could go this route. Who knows? But yeah, just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
So for my next match, this is interesting. I have a heel, Tommaso Ciampa, got that right, versus Johnny Gargano.
That's a good match right there. That's a match I'd like to see.
I mean, they're kind of teaming up right now, but I thought maybe you could do a split. Have Ciampa turn on Gargano, and it could be a pretty solid undercard feud for NXT.
Yeah, because wasn't Ciampa a heel at one point? Didn't he turn heel recently?
Well, he was more aggressive. I wouldn't say full-blown heel, because he's been making sporadic appearances. I know isn't he signed full-time to NXT?
I'm not sure, but I know him and Gargano are in the Cruiserweight Classic.
Right.
They're going to be in that tournament, which I'm excited for.
Can't wait for that. I don't know. But looking at this match, I know they'd go out there and have a really good match. I mean, I'm sure they've had, matches before on the independents, I'm guessing?
Yeah, we're on independent shows. I haven't seen much of their indie work, but I'll tell you this. Last night, their tag team match, they looked real sharp, and I want to see a strong tag team.
So whether you have them as a tag team or in this match facing off against each other, I just think it would be a good addition to the undercard for this Brooklyn card.
Yeah.
So moving on, this is a nice match that I have. I have Jordan and Gable defending their NXT Tag Team Championships in a triple threat match. I have the team of Aries and Bobby Roode, who will be making his debut in NXT, I think sometime next month, something tells me, and versus Dash and Dawson. I mean,
that's a very good matchup right there. And it's funny you mentioned Bobby Roode and Austin Aries because my good friend WWE TNA 1152 just did a video about what if Roode and Aries joined forces again as the Dirty Heels, because they had in TNA against the Wolves. They had that series of matches. So it's really cool that you mentioned that. I didn't watch a lot of TNA after 2010, so I forgot about that team until he mentioned it. But that would be a great triple threat tag team match because you'd have two hot teams on the NXT roster and then one team that's established themselves in the past.
Veterans.
Yes. So 6 hot talents in one match, that'd be crazy. That's the kind of match that would really get the Brooklyn crowd on fire, and they'd just be loving it from start to finish. I mean, Revival, they're one of my favorite teams on NXT. No Flips, Just Fist. American Alpha.
They're great. They're killing it. They are killing it right now.
American Alpha, they're just freaking awesome. They're
over. They're so over.
Yes. And then Roode and Aries would make a very interesting, I mean, they are a very intriguing pairing, and it would just be great to see these two former TNA standouts on a stage like Brooklyn, and they probably win the belts if it happens. So that I would definitely be down to see. That's a great match right there.
Thank you. So yeah, that's my tag team championship match. Moving on, this is my match for the NXT Women's Championship. It's going to be a Falls Count Anywhere match. Ooh. It's Asuka defending against Bayley in the rematch.
Falls Count Anywhere. It's a very, very interesting stipulation for their match.
Definitely. I mean, you know what they did? They had a tremendous match at Dallas, but I know they could have an even better match. You give them this unique stipulation, which I don't know if there's ever been a women's match in WWE that has been Falls Count Anywhere, unless, correct me if I'm wrong, I can't think of one.
I think there was one years ago. I think it was Melina versus Mickie James, and the only reason I remember was because they fought in the women's locker room, and I think Tori Wilson sprayed Melina with hairspray. So that's the only women's Falls Count Anywhere match I remember. And I mean, at that time, Mickie and Melina had a good feud, so it wasn't like a random Divas match. And yeah, I know I said Divas because back then Divas, but it wasn't like a random Divas match where they just brawled. It was, Mickie and Melina were in the midst of a feud. They had a match for the title. Mickie was trying to get it back from Melina, and they brawled all over the back. So that's the only time I remember a Falls Count Anywhere women's match. But Asuka Bayley Falls Count Anywhere, oh my God, they will tear the Barclays Center apart.
Definitely. So I figured I was going back and forth, maybe that or an Iron Woman match, but I feel like this, something. I mean, they did that last year with Banks and Bayley, so I kind of wanted to give it a fresh stipulation. So that's why I chose Falls Count Anywhere.
Definitely.
And then finally, my main event match for the NXT Heavyweight Championship, I have Samoa Joe defending his title against Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yep, that's pretty much. I think that's the match you have to go with at this point because of how hot and over Nakamura is with the crowd.
Definitely, because I have a feeling we're going to get there because we have Balor versus Joe 4 in the steel cage. I don't see Balor winning. I see him moving up to the main roster and doing whatever he does up there. So I definitely see Joe moving on and heading for a showdown with Shinsuke Nakamura, and it is going to be electric.
It'll be hard-hitting as hell between these guys.
We might see more blood. He might bust Joe open like
Yeah, definitely. All right.
Yeah, that's my card.
That's a great card right there. So moving on to my card, I also have 6 matches. My main event, I'm going to just start off with my main event because it's the same match that you have, Daniel. Samoa Joe defending the NXT Championship against Shinsuke Nakamura. But I would add the stipulation that it's no disqualification. And I would just let these guys tear each other apart because you know it's going to be a fight. It's going to be hard-hitting. They're going to be sore. They're going to bruise. It would just be an incredible fight between these two.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was saying, Nakamura is so freaking over with the crowd in NXT. And it's not like he just got to NXT and everybody's all of a sudden loving him. He's established himself as one of the best from New Japan Pro Wrestling. He has this aura. He's like a rock star.
Presence.
So freaking awesome. So, yeah, you have to believe that Nakamura will be – I mean, it's logical. It only makes sense that Nakamura challenges for the title at Brooklyn against Joe because Balor and Joe are going to end their feud at TakeOver Revenge in the cage. Balor should be on the main roster by then. So, yeah, Nakamura and Joe, hard-hitting, just an awesome dream match because, to my knowledge, I don't think they've ever wrestled before, right?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Anybody watching us live, if Joe and Nakamura have actually clash before, please let us know in the comments section to the side or in the comment section below if you watch this later. But yeah, Joe Nakamura, that'd be just freaking awesome. I can't wait to see that. That crowd would just be insane for that match from start to finish. I mean, you think that Dallas crowd was insane for Zayn and Nakamura? Just wait until Nakamura and Joe get into the Barclays Center. Oh my God, I'm starting to mark out, and it hasn't even happened yet.
Can I throw a scenario out? It just popped in my head.
What's up?
So you come down to the end of the match. It looks like Nakamura is going to win. Hideo Itami makes his return and turns on Shinsuke Nakamura for stealing what he felt like was his spotlight, and then we go into an Itami versus Nakamura feud.
That is an awesome idea right there because...
Just saying. Where is he? I miss Hideo.
I do miss Hideo Itami. He's been out for a year now. More than a year since his shoulder injury. And I don't know if he's... I hope he comes back. You know, he looks different. He looks different now. He has a different hairstyle. He grew a beard out because my friends met him at NXT, at Access this year, WrestleMania Access. So
he could just be say, I'm jealous. You know, I thought I was the big sensation from Japan, and who the hell do you think you are stealing my spotlight? You know,
that would be a very intriguing feud. That'd be a very intriguing feud.
It could help Itami and working with Nakamura and helping to reestablish his presence on NXT. I think it would be a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, it's funny that you mentioned Hideo Itami because I'm going to get to my next match, and this is in no particular order. I'm just going to go with it like this. So I would have Hideo Itami make his return at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. It would be his return match, and I'd pit him against Austin Aries.
Nice.
Now, the background to this would be Austin Aries, if you remember, like a couple weeks ago in NXT, he felt like he was here for a reason. He didn't want to be pushed to the back. He wants to make a statement. He wants to be the NXT champion. So I have this. So the way I would book it is I would have him go up to Regal and be like, you know what? I think I deserve a shot at the NXT championship once Joe and Balor are done in the steel cage. But you know how William Regal is. He doesn't just give title matches to people. No. They have to earn it. So what I would do is I would have him come out and he would say, Mr. Aries, you've made a case for wanting to be the #1 contender to the NXT championship, but you have to prove yourself. So I have a specially picked opponent for you, a man who's looking to make an impact, and I would have him say that he has an opponent who's just as hungry as Austin Aries, and it would be the returning Hideo Itami. Now I don't know if I would necessarily have Aries be heel, but this would be a good match for them to establish their cases for the NXT championship, especially Itami, because I thought he'd be back by now wrestling, and he hasn't wrestled in a year since before actually NXT TakeOver Unstoppable.
Wow.
So I think because I didn't even think of that Hideo Itami heel turn until you mentioned it. But what I was thinking was for Itami, this could be his road to, I guess, redemption, even though he didn't really lose much. But yeah, he lost a year of his career due to his shoulder injury. He was supposed to knock off Kevin Owens for the championship in Japan. So I feel like that would really motivate Itami to get back get back in the saddle and ultimately earn the right to be the #1 contender for the NXT Championship. I think it'd have a great story there. Him and Aries, I think, would have a kick-ass match. Have they wrestled before too, or no?
That I can't. I have no idea.
Yeah, if they did, it was probably in ROH when Atami was Kenta. But I think that'd just be a great match. Great way for Atami to return. And you would have a great storyline because you'd have the two guys that want the NXT Championship. One who's hungry because he's been out for a year, and the other who just does not want to be pushed to the side because he's the greatest man that ever lived. I think it'd be great. I think they put on a hell of a match, and probably if I was booking it, I'd go with Atami to book his road to redemption, so to speak, and then eventually have him cross paths with Nakamura. But Atami and Aries. Originally, I was going to do Austin Aries and Eric Young. I was like, I don't really see a lot of intrigue in that match.
Yeah.
And Hideo, and him and Hideo can tear it up.
Yeah, I'd rather see that over Aries and Young. Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of Eric Young, he's the subject of my next match. So my next match would be Eric Young versus a returning, get this, Tyler Breeze.
Really?
Yes.
Nice.
Now, I don't know if you saw my NXT Tag Challenge video, but I said Tyler Breeze needs to go back to the main roster because he is in this piss break feud with the Golden Truth, which is garbage. I hate it.
You don't like Breeze and Fandango as a tag team? Come on, that's the best thing ever. Come on, that's good stuff.
I honestly feel like he should have been in the Intercontinental title picture by now, man.
Yep.
United States champion.
At least something.
So what I was thinking was they're perfect counterparts. Eric Young is kind of grungy. He's I think grungy is really the only way I can explain him. He's unorthodox. And then Tyler Breeze, Prince Pretty, gorgeous. He could call Eric Young an uggo and go at it. And I think like I said, I haven't really been an Eric Young fan, so I think Tyler Breeze would really benefit from returning to NXT where he's treated like he should be treated because Triple H knows how much of an asset he is. So I would just have, Tyler Breeze say, I'm back here where I made a name for myself, where I'm going to make an even bigger impact than I did before, where I get the respect that I deserve and that I've earned, and then have him go after Eric Young just because Eric Young's an uggo. And I think they'd have a good match for the most part.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I think Tyler Breeze and the Ascension need to go back to NXT. They're just being treated like shit. I hate it. They're good talents, and they deserve a lot better. End of story. I mean, what else can I say?
Exactly.
All right. So next up, I have a women's division match. It's very similar to yours, Daniel, but it's a singles match. Carmella versus Alexa Bliss.
There you go. I like that. Fresh matchup.
It is a fresh matchup. It'll actually be the continuation of the feud that Enzo, Cass, and Carmella had with Blake, Alexa, and Murphy back in last year, actually.
Yep.
When Blake and Murphy were trying to hit on Carmella, and then Alexa Bliss made her heel turn, and she then started becoming a little more significant. But I feel like she hasn't had that breakout moment as a heel. So with her wanting the NXT Championship and kicking Blake and Murphy to the side last night on NXT, and Carmella hungry to be champion, this is a perfect crossroads matchup because Alexa's contended for the title once, Carmella's contended once. Alexa's been there longer than Carmella, and they each want the championship. So, I mean, this is a perfect crossroads match. If I had to pick a winner, I would probably go with Alexa Bliss only because if Carmella wins and then she goes after Asuka, as much as I love Carmella, I know she would give her all. Asuka would kill her. I mean, we have to look at it. Yeah, but I think that'd be a good women's match. Carmella would get a huge homecoming welcome from the crowd in Brooklyn. She got a huge ovation last year against Eva Marie, and this would be a big chance for both of them to shine. Because like I said, Alexa Bliss, I feel she's underrated. She hasn't had a breakout moment yet, and against Carmella, you can make it happen.
Sure.
It'd be a good women's match, I think. I'd like to see it because Alexa Bliss as a heel, she's killing it. I mean, that face she makes.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I mean, you look at this past week's episode of NXT, the way she just turned on Blake and Murphy. I thought she was just emoting good emotions.
Yeah, definitely. So Carmella and Alexa Bliss. That would be my women's match. I do like your idea for the Fatal 4-Way. That's a great way for Nia Jax and Peyton Royce to also share the stage with Carmella and Alexa. That'd be a good women's match. But when you look at this one, it does continue the feud that happened last year. I know it hasn't really been brought up until now. But, hey, continuity is important in wrestling and in storytelling. So I think that'd be cool. And like I said, they each want the NXT Women's Championship. So what better way than for them to go against each other to prove their worth for the championship? All right, so I have 2 matches left. Next is for the NXT Tag Team Championship. I would have American Alpha defending against... Now, for this match to happen, there's one person on the other team that has to come back to NXT. You might know who I'm talking about, but this would be huge if this match happened. So my Tag Team Championship match would be American Alpha defending against Bobby Roode and James Storm.
Oh, wow.
Beer money!
Wow. Now that's a big-time match.
Yes, that would be huge. You know, I was mentioning Charles's idea of the Dirty Heels reuniting in NXT to challenge American Alpha. I'm sure that'd be a hell of a match. But the team I remember the most from NXT was Beer Money. You know, I thought James Storm was going to have a killer run in NXT, and then he went back to TNA because of the money that they offered him. And, you know, Bobby Roode created a lot of buzz when he was shown at NXT TakeOver Dallas. Honestly, you know, I knew they were going to do American Alpha versus the Revival at TakeOver Revenge. So then I started thinking, like, who would be the perfect team to challenge American Alpha? Because American Alpha are going to most likely retain. Who would be the perfect team to challenge him at Brooklyn? And I thought of Beer Money because Bobby Roode's already there. Hopefully James Storm will come back. And I know that's a 1 in a million shot, but that match would just be awesome. That's the match I'd really want to see. It'd just be an incredible tag team championship match. Daniel?
Yeah, I'm still there.
Okay, just checking, yeah. And I could see Beer Money making a run, knocking out American Alpha, and I could hear James Storm being like, well, boys, looks like you found out who your next tag team challengers are going to be. Sorry about your
damn luck.
That'd be great. That's $1 million right there. All right, and to wrap up our my NXT TakeOver Brooklyn Fantasy card, I have my NXT Women's Championship match. The champion Asuka defending against the challenger Bayley in a 2 out of 3 falls match.
Nice.
I, like you, was thinking Iron Woman match, but then that's 30 minutes, and I feel like a match of that caliber you could do as the main event of like the takeover after Brooklyn. But like you said too, Bayley and Sasha already did Iron Woman, so Asuka and Bayley in what had as the Falls Count Anywhere match would be a fresh matchup. Me, I went with 2 out of 3 falls because I feel like, this time. And obviously, Asuka beating Bayley wasn't a fluke, but this time it would really push their endurance. You know, they have to earn. The winner has to earn 2 falls. And I mean, if it was a very competitive match, but it ended up with Asuka beating Bayley 2 straight, oh my God, it'd be crazy. But I think 2 out of 3 falls would be perfect because Bayley has a chance to make up for the loss against Asuka and then pin Asuka again in the same night. So she could say that I beat Asuka 2 nights. 2 falls to whatever in Brooklyn. And now and that's the match that's perfect for Brooklyn because they're most likely doing Asuka versus Nia Jax at TakeOver Revenge, which I'm fine with because Bayley and Asuka too deserves to be on a card like Brooklyn with that caliber and that atmosphere. And 2 out of 3 falls, it's simple, but it would tell quite a compelling story because, like I said, Bayley has to beat Asuka twice to get the championship back. Asuka has to beat Bayley twice to retain. So their endurance is going to be pushed, and for Bayley, it could be like a redemption story. For Asuka, it's a chance to further solidify her reign as NXT Women's Champion and the mayhem that she reeks in that ring. So that I know would have the crowd on the edge of their seat. I mean, this is the same arena where Bayley had her, her girlhood dream became real. She became NXT Women's Champion in a very emotional Women's Championship match. I mean, it's perfect. And even if Bayley doesn't win, still, this would be one hell of a match. I mean, if this was her last NXT Women's Championship match before she gets to the main roster, what a way to go out against Asuka. So, I mean, I can't really say much more about 2 out of 3 falls, but that's just the perfect kind of rematch for those two women to have.
Sure, that'd be a tremendous – it would bring out the best in both.
Yeah.
It really would.
Yeah. And, yeah, like I said, they'd have to really step their game up in the second fall because they can get one fall over their opponent, but they got to get another one. And they're going to have to really – we're going to see what Asuka is made of, and we're going to see what Bayley's made of. We're going to really see their valor tested in that match. So that'd be awesome.
Definitely.
All right. So, Daniel, do you want to go over your card one more time real quick?
Sure. I'll give a brief rundown. I have Samoa Joe versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the NXT Heavyweight title. Asuka versus Bayley. Falls Count Anywhere match for the NXT Women's Championship. Jordan and Gable versus Aries and Rude versus Dash and Dawson for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Tommaso Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano. Eric Young versus Elias Sampson. Carmella versus Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss versus Peyton Royce in a fatal 4-way match to determine the number 1 contender for the NXT Women's Championship.
And as far as my card goes, I have Samoa Joe versus Shinsuke Nakamura in a no disqualification match for the NXT Championship. Asuka versus Bayley in a 2 out of 3 falls match for the NXT Women's Championship. Austin Aries versus Hideo Itami. Carmella versus Alexa Bliss. The returning Tyler Breeze versus Eric Young. Fingers crossed he returns to NXT. And American Alpha versus Beer Money for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Great cards that we both established. I got a feeling that Tag Team Championship match you came up with, Daniel, is going to happen. I mean, that's big money right there. Who knows what NXT is going to give us this year in Brooklyn, but I'm just looking forward to the card. Our cards, if these became reality, if they came to fruition, would be just stacked from top to bottom. Real quick, Daniel, I just want to ask you, what are your thoughts about Joe and Balor having their rematch in the steel cage at TakeOver Revenge?
Yeah, I never really got to express my thoughts here on YouTube about that announcement with everything going on the past couple weeks. But yeah, I'm tremendously looking forward to that match. It was made official, this past Tuesday by General Manager William Regal.
Yeah.
It's the first time ever match on NXT. They've never had a steel cage match. And it'll be the 4th match between Joe and Balor. I know they're going to go out there and have a tremendous match. This might be the farewell match for Finn Balor on NXT, but if it is, what a way to go out for the NXT Championship. Couldn't think of a better way in a steel cage.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to that match. That's what I like about NXT is that they make their rematches significant. They don't do the rematch 5 million times on the show, on the following shows, like on the main roster. They make their rematches feel like something. And Joe and Balor in a steel cage is the best way for them to culminate. I honestly thought it was going to be a last man standing match or something like that. But steel cage, great way for the feud to culminate. Like you said, it's most likely going to be Balor's farewell match unless he wrestles one more time before SummerSlam. But really looking forward to it. You're also getting American Alpha and the Revival in their rematch for the NXT Tag Team Championships at TakeOver Revenge. I honestly thought that would have been 2 out of 3 falls, but it's just going to be a standard match. But you know it's going to be a great match. I love the electricity and everything in their previous match at TakeOver Dallas.
Yep.
I threw out Asuka versus Nia Jax. That's probably going to happen based on how Nia just dominated and beat Bayley last night. And we'll see what else happens in the weeks to come, because that's coming up in 3 weeks or something. TakeOver Revenge.
Wednesday. We are only 3 weeks away.
Yeah, so it's definitely gonna be an exciting time for NXT these next few weeks, and the summer could be a huge time for them and WWE in general if all goes well. Because you've said it before, SummerSlam has a chance to be one of the best this year, probably the biggest if they do with everything they can do possibly. And NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, I'm excited. I mean, last year's show, what more can I say that I haven't said already? And I can only imagine this show is going to be just as hot or maybe even hotter than last year.
I mean, you think
yeah,
about it. We also have, John Cena returning in 2 weeks, potentially Seth Rollins returning on Raw on June 6th. Bray Wyatt's coming back. Randy Orton's coming back. Brock Lesnar will be back for SummerSlam. I'm really looking forward to this summer as a wrestling fan compared to last summer.
Me too. I'm definitely looking forward to the summer. You have big matches you can do. I just hope WWE just give us great stories and great feuds going into the summer. Give us matches we want to see. Give us fresh matchups, not like matches we've seen before. Give us fresh matchups, fresh feuds. And, we can't stress it enough. Make SummerSlam the best you can this year. Last year, the 4-hour show, I really thought they were going to do something big. They didn't.
It was okay. It was a key show.
Yeah, it was a solid show. It was all right for the most part. But this year, let's do something big. I mean, you got Zayn and Owens. If WWE's watching, go back and check out the video we did on Daniel's channel about SummerSlam predictions. Yep. We came up with some hot matchups that would make that card just a stacked
must-see
show. Yeah, Owens and Zayn. You can do AJ and Cena. Or AJ and Balor, depending on when Balor arrives on the main roster. So many great matches you can do and feuds you can build. We'll just have to wait and see. So before we go off the air, Daniel, I just want to ask you your thoughts on Emma getting injured and suffering a ruptured disc in her back.
Yeah, that's bad news. Couldn't happen at a worse time. I really thought I was really enjoying the stuff between her and Becky Lynch. And Dana Brooke come up to the main roster.
Yeah.
Although I did think Dana, as I said in my Raw review, had a solid showing on Raw this past Monday against Becky, so it looks like we'll have to see where they go with that feud. But, yeah, it couldn't happen at a worse time. Just prayers for Emma and hope she has a full and speedy recovery.
Yep, same here. It couldn't have happened at a worse time for Emma. I feel like she was starting to get red hot with this feud with Becky Lynch. It was going somewhere. It was a nice feud that didn't involve the women's championship. Dana Brooke got thrown into the mix, and that was enhancing the feud. And then she suffered a ruptured disc in her back, which is no joke. She had surgery yesterday. I tweeted her my best wishes for surgery, so I just want to say get well soon, Emma. We hope to see you back in the ring. We hope to see you win that women's championship in the future. And, like you said, prayers for Emma. And one other thing I want to ask you, Daniel, is if they were to book The Undertaker at SummerSlam, who do you think would be the perfect opponent for him?
It's a good question. It's a really good question.
Yeah.
Well, the first name that comes to mind would be Finn Balor.
Me too. I thought that the Demon Finn Balor versus The Undertaker.
And he would win. No offense to Taker. I love him. I respect him. But you put Balor over in that match big time.
Oh, yeah. No, you have
Don't do what you did to Bray Wyatt and have him lose every freaking match they faced.
No.
That still bothers me.
That about Bray Wyatt. And I need to check out the video. I need to check out that Bray Wyatt return video. I need to check that out.
It's simple. At Survivor Series, you have them pin Kane. There, Taker doesn't get pinned, but Wyatt gets the win. I mean, how hard was that to do? Instead, no, they have the Wyatts lose and look like a bunch of losers.
Yeah.
Oh, that bothered me so much. That was a horrible pay-per-view.
Yeah. I don't know really. Like, Brock is probably going to fight.
We don't know. I mean, it's a toss-up, and I like that. I like how we don't know who he's going to fight.
Yeah, I know you wanted Randy Orton.
I do.
Match.
I really want that match.
I said Cesaro because I want to see Powerhouse fight Powerhouse. Yeah. So for Brock and I don't know if Taker's going to be on the card, but I was just wondering.
I doubt it. I doubt we won't see him till Mania. I think it's highly unlikely.
Yeah. I mean, unless, and this would be dumb, if Triple H wants to use Taker as his weapon of destruction against Kane again.
Yeah. I kind of don't want to see them.
Yeah, no, I love Taker and I respect the man, but I don't want to see Taker Shane too. I want to see Shane and Triple H. That's
the money match. That's what it should have been.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have been Reigns and Triple H. Should have been Shane and Triple H at Mania.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this real quick before we go off the air. If they want to do it, and if they do the right booking and everything, if they don't do Kalisto versus Baron Corbin, which I doubt because Kalisto's probably gonna lose the title to Rusev, do Undertaker and Baron Corbin.
The lone wolf. Yeah, I like that.
Well, can Taker take the end of days?
Ooh, oh my God, you might kill him. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's the only opponent I can really see Baron Corbin fighting. I mean, Undertaker fighting if he comes back. Either Taker and Balor or Taker and Corbin, but have Corbin beat Taker. Don't have Corbin lose to Taker, because you want to build up your future, right? And Taker's probably only going to have one more match and then retire, and he deserves to because he's been with this company for 20 plus years, 25 actually.
Yep.
So I mean, I'm sure Taker wouldn't have a problem putting Corbin over if he sees a lot of potential in Corbin. So Taker and Balor or Taker and Corbin, because I really don't see any other worthy challenge for Taker at SummerSlam. You know what I'm saying? Like a worthy challenge. What else can I say?
Yeah.
Taker and Corbin. Yeah, I mean, because I don't see Taker versus Apollo Crews. I just don't see that match happening. Yeah. I don't see Apollo spinning, power bombing Taker like that. No, I just don't see that match happening. I don't think they click too, as much as I love them both. Yeah, I think Taker Corbin is more logical because it can just be a brawl. It doesn't have to be a wrestling match, but they can just brawl and Corbin can catch him with an end of days out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what happens. But I know SummerSlam's in August, but still, I know the potential for a really good card excites you because we have so much talent and we have returning talent as well. So let's hope we get a stacked SummerSlam card. I mean, because with Bray Wyatt, you could do him and Brock the right way, or
I'd have him win Money in the Bank. I think it's a perfect scenario.
Yeah.
I mean, he would be an awesome Mr. Money in the Bank. You think about it, he would just like worship the briefcase in a way. He has the whole world in his hands. Hello, there it is.
Looking right there, right? Yes.
There it is. I
know. Or you could do Corbin and Wyatt. I think that'd be a good match if you don't want to do Taker and Wyatt.
Sure.
Kind of a pick'ems because you don't want Bray to lose momentum, but you don't want Corbin to lose momentum. So it would be interesting.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, could you imagine if Bray got hit with an end of days, he kicked out, and then he wants it again?
Or he does the spider sit crawl thing. Oh, my God. That would be awesome.
Yes, Bray Wyatt is just such an enigma. I think he would even give Baron Corbin a run for his money if he does that spider thing, that spider walk. Can you imagine Corbin just looking at it like, what the hell?
What do I got to do?
Yeah, well, we'll see. All right, guys. Well, we're going to wrap this video up for today. Daniel, as always, thank you for joining me. It's a pleasure. Go ahead, promote any videos you'd like or your channel in general.
I got my YouTube channel, Daniel Giza, youtube.com/Daniel Giza 412. Come check it out for all the latest NXT reviews, Lucha Underground reviews. I do Raw reviews, pay-per-view reviews. I do everything. So if you're interested in hearing my thoughts and opinions on professional wrestling, WWE in general, that's where you'll find me.
Yes. All right. Thank you, Daniel. His link is down below in the description box. As always, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. This is Rob1 Kenobi. Please make sure to like and share this video. Comment down below what you think of our TakeOver Brooklyn prediction, our fantasy card predictions, and what matches do you predict will happen this year at TakeOver Brooklyn. Also, let us know what you think about SummerSlam, what matches you predict for SummerSlam. And make sure to subscribe to my channel. Make sure to subscribe to Daniel's channel. And until our next video, this is Rob1 Kenobi and Daniel Giza signing off. Everybody have a good day. And let's make Darren Young great again.
Peace.
Peace.